Hello students, welcome to the topic tunnel diode. This particular topic is from the unit 3 quantum mechanics and it is based on the application of tunneling. At the end of the study of this video lecture, you will be able to understand the working principle and VI characteristic of tunnel diode. You will also able to enumerate the advantages and applications of tunnel diode. Tunnel diode works on the principle of tunneling, which was studied in a previous lecture, according to which the particle penetrates through the barrier. It is completely quantum mechanical phenomena. The particle and the barrier width must be very small. You can see on the screen the classical picture of electron and the quantum picture. In classical picture, we are treating the electron as a particle, and hence when the electron strikes the energy barrier, it gets immediately reflected back. So particle nature does not allow the electron in the form of a particle to cross the barrier and to go on the another side. But quantum mechanically, we treat the electron in the form of a wave, and the wave nature always tapers it off into the another side, and hence you can see the electron in the form of a wave nature is penetrating through the barrier and it is going on the another side. So this penetration of the electron in the form of a wave nature through the barrier is the tunneling phenomena. The second point which you should know to understand the working of a tunnel diode is the Fermi level in semiconductor. We have studied this particular term also before. So, in a semiconductor, Fermi level acts as a reference level which corresponds to the center of gravity for the electrons in conduction band and holes in valence band, weighed according to their energy. To understand what is the position of a Fermi level in P and N semiconductor, let us study the band structure which is shown on the screen. We have studied this also before in a semiconductor physics unit. So in a p-type we get a conduction band, valence band, and in p-type majority charge carriers are always created in a valence band by the addition of the acceptor impurity atom. So you will see that the acceptor impurity level is lying very close to the valence band in p-type, because addition of acceptors gives us the production of a holes in valence band. So more holes are present in a valence band, and hence the Fermi level lies very close to the valence band and it is below the acceptor energy level. Similarly, in N-type semiconductor, more and more electrons are generated in a conduction band by addition of a donor impurity atoms, and hence the Fermi level in N-type is below the conduction band and it is very close to it. Now in both the P and N band structure, we are showing the donor impurity level or the acceptor impurity level as a just single energy level. This is for the normal doping of the semiconductor. In normal doping, one dopant atom is added for the 10 to power 8 atoms of a germanium or silicon. And hence the separation between the acceptor impurity in a silicon or a germanium crystal structure is large, and hence we treat the acceptor impurity atom as a single isolated atom, and hence we get a single energy level corresponding to it. And in donor atom also, here in N-type we get a single energy level corresponding to the donor impurity atom, because the doping level is very less. But if you start increasing the concentration of acceptor impurity in p-type semiconductor, the separation between the acceptor impurity atoms in a germanium or a silicon crystal structure will start decreasing, and because of that the single energy level of acceptor impurity will get converted into the energy band. and hence as the size of the acceptor impurity atoms energy band goes on increasing, the Fermi level will keep on shifting in a downward direction and it will go in a valence band. So if p-type semiconductor or n-type semiconductors are heavily doped, then the Fermi level shifting takes place. So here in n-type also, as we will start increasing the concentration of donor impurity atoms in germanium or silicon, single energy level of donor impurity atom will get converted into the donor impurity energy band, and because of that the Fermi level will shift into the conduction band. It will shift in upward direction, it will go in a conduction band. So you have to keep in mind, in heavily doped P and N semiconductor, what is happening to the Fermi level position? In heavily doped p-type semiconductor, Fermi level lies in a valence band, and in n-type the Fermi level goes in a conduction band. Tunnel diode, it is a heavily doped p-n junction. We have studied before p-n junction, which acts as a rectifier, that consists in normal doping as we have just now discussed, and whenever we form the p-n junction, near the junction barrier potential gets developed and also the depletion region gets formed. So it is a heavily doped p-n junction. In tunnel diode, the electric current decreases as the voltage increases. That is, it exhibits the negative resistance. We are going to study how the negative resistance is achieved in a tunnel diode in the next few slides of the working of it. Then third important point is that in tunnel diode, electric current is caused by tunneling of electrons through the depletion region. So you can see the diagram. This is the depletion region which is formed between the p-type and n-type semiconductor, and electron tunnels through the barrier. So this tunneling of the electron through the depletion region, which acts as a barrier, is used in a working of tunnel diode. Now let us first study what is the effect of heavily doped p-n junction. What is happening if we heavily dope the p and n semiconductor and brought together to form a junction or a diode. So in tunnel diode, one dopant atom is added for 10 to power 3 atoms of a germanium or silicon, that we called as a heavily doped. So as we have studied just now, in a heavily doped p-type semiconductor, Fermi level goes in a valence band, and in case of a n-type semiconductor, it goes in a conduction band. Now when you bring the heavily doped p and n semiconductor together to form a p-n junction, barrier potential near the junction becomes very large, and the width of a depletion region becomes very small in angstrom. We are going to connect the tunnel diode in a forward bias only. We are going to study what is the forward characteristic of a tunnel diode, which is producing the electric current by using the tunneling of electrons phenomena through the depletion region. So let us study the first step 1, unbiased tunnel diode. As we have discussed in the few last lectures related with the semiconductor physics, we have studied there, when we bring the p-type and n-type semiconductor band structure together to form a junction, the n-type energy band structures start shifting in a downward direction because electron loses the energy. They are going from N to the P, diffusion is taking place, and similarly the energy band structure of p-type semiconductor starts shifting in the upward direction because the holes are getting diffused from p-type to the n-type. So that is a normal diode working, which tells that n-type band structure keeps on shifting in a downward direction when the junction gets formed, and p-types keeps on shifting in a upward direction. In case of a tunnel diode, since it is a heavily doped PN junction, you can see the barrier potential is very large near the junction. Depletion width is very small, and the conduction band of N-type semiconductor is coming exactly in front of the valence band of P-type. And this overlapping of the bands continues till the Fermi level in N-type and Fermi level in P-type becomes same, or they get coincided. As we have studied just now, in heavily doped N-type semiconductor, Fermi level lies in a conduction band, and in heavily doped P-type the Fermi level lies in valence band. So when we bring the P and N semiconductor together, electrons start tunneling from the conduction band of N-type to the valence band of P-type. Similarly, the electrons from the valence band of P-type, they start tunneling into the conduction band of N-type, and this diffusion of the electrons continues, or a tunneling of the electron continues till the Fermi level in both the semiconductors becomes same. So when no voltage is applied across the tunnel diode, tunnel current through the junction is zero. Now let us start applying the small voltage across the tunnel diode. We are going to connect the diode in forward bias. So when we connect the junction in a forward bias, electron in N-type semiconductor gains the energy. Similarly, the holes in a P-type semiconductor gains the energy. And because of that, the N-type band structure starts shifting in a upward direction, and P-type band structure starts shifting in a downward direction. As a result, the barrier potential start decreasing, and the depletion region also decreases. Now, the depletion width is very small in size, and hence when we apply the small voltage across the tunnel diode, electrons in a conduction band, they start occupying the holes in a valence band of P-type semiconductor. Actually, in this working of a tunnel diode, these holes are treated as a vacant states, and hence the electrons start tunneling from conduction band of N-type to the valence band of P-type semiconductor, and it occupies this vacant states, and as a result the current through the junction start increasing as we start increasing the voltage. So you will able to see here we are increasing the voltage across the x-axis, and current we are noting down across the y-axis. So as we are increasing the forward bias voltage across the tunnel diode, the current is increasing, and it is a tunnel current. Only the electrons are tunneling from N-type conduction band to the valence band of P-type. As we will go on increasing the voltage across the tunnel diode, the shifting of the bands will get continue, and now you will see the more and more vacant states of the valence band of P-type is coming in front of the conduction band of N-type. So more and more electrons are crossing the depletion region, and they are trying to occupy this vacant state, and as a result the tunnel current is also increasing. So tunneling of the electron keeps on increasing as we keep on increasing the voltage across the tunnel diode, and hence the maximum tunnel currents keeps on flowing. Tunneling takes place in a very short interval of time, that is within the 10 to power minus 14 to minus 10 to power minus 15 seconds. Now as we keep on increasing the voltage across the tunnel diode, shifting of the bands will also keep on continuously taking place, and now you can see that the conduction band of N-type semiconductor is coming in front of the energy gap of P-type semiconductor. Now in the energy gap, no vacant spaces are there, and hence electron now cannot go to occupy any vacant spaces which are not present in a energy gap of p-type semiconductor. So tunneling of the electrons are getting stopped as electron does not find any vacant states in the gap of a p-type semiconductor. And since tunneling of the electron is stopped, the tunnel current will start now decreasing as we are increasing the further voltage across the tunnel diode. Now if we increase, so as we are increasing the voltage, tunnel current is decreasing. So tunnel current is decreasing means it is exhibiting a negative resistance. Now further increase in a voltage will reduce the more barrier potential, and now the tunnel diode will start working as a normal diode because the barrier potential is very small had become because of the continuous increase in a voltage across the tunnel diode, and hence now the electrons which are present in a conduction band of n type will go in a conduction band of p type. Similarly, the holes in a valence band of p type will go in the valence band of n type. So that is a flow of charge carriers as per the normal diode working, and hence now again as you are increasing the voltage across the tunnel diode, the current will keep on increasing. But this current is not a tunnel current. It is a normal diode current flow which we get when we start applying the forward bias voltage across the normal diode. So zero tunnel current is there in this region, and it is a just forward current which we achieve in case of an operation of a normal diode. So if we study the complete VI characteristic of a tunnel diode, you can see as we are increasing the voltage, initially the tunnel current is continuously increasing. Further increase in a voltage is decreasing the current as the conduction band of n-type semiconductor comes in front of the energy gap of p-type semiconductor. So we say that the tunnel diode is exhibiting a negative resistance region. Further increase in a voltage is increasing the again forward current, and the tunnel diode works as a normal diode. So actually the negative resistance region, this is a very important property of a tunnel diode, and this property is used in many applications. So actually application of a small voltage, we can increase the current and immediately we can see that the current is decreasing. So we can use the half part of a tunnel current as a switching on device, and when it is exhibiting a negative resistance, it will go to the off switching condition. So we can do the on and off switching condition with the help of a application of a forward bias across the tunnel diode. So what are the advantage of a tunnel diode? It has a long life because we are operating the diode only in a forward bias. Second advantage is that high speed operation. Just now we have studied the tunnel current takes place within a very short interval of time, and hence the speed of the operation also we can increase by just application of a small forward voltage across the tunnel diode. Low noise, low power consumption, very small voltage is required, and very fast switching. So all these advantage of a tunnel diodes are utilized for different applications of it. Like they are used in the logic memory storage devices. They are used as a high frequency microwave oscillators or amplifiers. They are used as an ultra high speed switch, and they are also used in FM receivers. So these are the advantages and the applications of tunnel diodes. With this, we have completed the working of a tunnel diode, which we have explained with the help of a energy band structure. In a theory paper, the question can come for the 3 to 4 marks. Explain the construction and working of a tunnel diode and how the tunneling phenomena is utilized in that one. So there, you try to write down the answer with the help of a few slides of this presentation. No need to go for drawing of the energy band structure, which we have studied for the 4 steps. Just explain where the tunneling phenomena is coming into the picture in a working of a tunnel diode. What is its basic structure? What are its advantages? What are its applications? Thank you.